Pastor Lauren Richmond, East Denver Bible Baptist Church. Our broadcast, Lead Me to the Rock. We're talking about Portraits of Grace, talking about developing a faith in the life of Daniel. One of the things I want to deal with today is having a faithful testimony. We know that that's one thing that Daniel had. His cohorts didn't think much of him. They persecuted him for it, but how wonderful it is if we would have the testimony that lets other people know that we're Christians. And the most important thing in our life is living for God. Proverbs 22:1 says, "A good name is rather to be chosen than great riches, and loving favor rather than silver and gold." So there's certainly more things that are more important than money, and things that are more important than putting something in our pocket. It's letting people know about Jesus. And the apostles in the New Testament said we ought to obey God rather than men. So it's true that you may suffer some persecution, but the Bible says, "Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you, and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my name's sake." So we certainly ought to be people that love Jesus, and we want to tell others about him, and we live such a life that people can see our good works and glorify our Father which is in heaven. So I trust that you'll be thinking, how can I live that kind of a life? How can I show that kind of a character so that people don't see me but they see God, and so that people are drawn to a saving faith, because that's the only hope this world has, and we as Christians need to exhibit that kind of a life. I was thinking of a man who passed away yesterday, was one of my missions teachers in Bible college. One of his daughters posted about his death yesterday. It was Richard Vick, and he was certainly a wonderful missionary, a wonderful man of God, loved the Lord, and exhibited that in his life and his work in Ethiopia, and even back here in the States when he was serving as a missions director, missions teacher. Just a wonderful man, and I trust that all of us would live that kind of a life, that people might see Jesus in us, because if they do, we can make a difference. That the Bible talks about people having compassion as a result, making a difference. Help us, God, to have that kind of to live that kind of a life, to have that kind of a character, that we can make others see Jesus in us. God bless you, and have a wonderful night.